I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Hey, everybody, this is Dalton Smith from the Ninja Traders, and I am one of the live trainers there. And we're going to go over the DeLorean line tonight, maybe some trading view questions, and maybe a couple of setups that I'm looking at. Um, these trades, if you enter them at your own risk. This is not like telling you trades are going to do good or bad or anything. This is just the way I look at and assess trades, and I hope that you get something out of it. So before we start, Sophia, do you have any questions about anything before I get started? I'll take that as a no, Miss Sophia. Hey, John, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, sir. Good. I'm about to jump in here to the DeLorean lines, John. Unless you have any questions about anything before I get started.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Awesome, sir. Well, good to have you here. All right, I'm going to share my screen, guys. So what I trade off of, you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So what I use to trade is the DeLorean lines, which consists of 5 lines. It's the 5, 13, 50, 200, and 800 EMAs. And so, I don't actually know what those are doing there. So what I'm going to do tonight, if you guys have any questions about the DeLorean lines, I'm happy to answer it. But what I'm going to do is just go over a couple charts and kind of assess them and see if I would or would not enter a trade based on what these charts look like. Brian Knight has me working off of these, and everybody else working off of these 5 charts to get started. So that's where we're going to start. So this is CAD JPY. We are on the 15-minute time frame. Usually when I come in, I fly at about 4 hours when I come in. So what we're looking for, let me say this too. I do not trade the DeLorean trading system. Okay, I came across the DeLorean EMAs from my mentor, Jeff Goodwin, and I just kind of hit the ground running with them. This in no way has anything to do with the DeLorean trading system offered by the IM Academy. This is just the way I use this indicator and interpret it. So what we're looking for is for the EMAs to be spread out, the DeLorean EMAs to be spread out, okay? So right here, you can see all 5 of these EMA lines are together. So this is not where I'm going to enter a trade, okay? But here we see the EMAs start to fan out. They start to fan out more. And this is where I start looking to make a trade with the DeLorean EMAs because the further away the DeLorean, further away the candles get away from the 800 EMA, the more likely it is to crash back down to the 800. If you go back and look at this strategy over and over, the EMAs come back to this 800 line. So what we want is for the red and yellow line, the 5 and the 13, to be above the light gray to be above the dark gray, and the dark gray to be above the dark blue. So that's a 5, 13. This is the 50. This is the 200. And this is the 500. It works upside down as well. So if the EMAs were the 800s and the 200s and the 50 and the 13 and the 5, that would be fine as well if we're going to trade up. So right here, if we had gotten in right here, then I would be looking at a trade. But as you can see, it's already moved back down to the 800, and we're entering a consolidation here. So I'm going to skip over this chart. Now look here. So I would not have entered here, okay, because all of the EMAs are together. But here we start getting away, and look how far away the candles got away from the 800. I would definitely be looking to take this trade here, okay? And in my opinion, this is going to run all the way back down to the 800, which if you got in at the top would be 533 pips. That's not a bad day. So this is what I'm looking for, that the candles always come back down to the 800. Not always all at once, but they make their way back. What I'm looking for is for them to come back really quickly, like this. That's a good day. So since these candles seem to be falling back to the 800, I'm going to drop down. We're at the 1 hour now. They've already dropped down to the 800 at the 1 hour. The 1 hour and the 15 minute is where I usually trade at. And see here on the 15 minute, it looks like they're going to go up. So I'm going to stay out of this for now. But they could continue to go down to the 800. It's something worth watching. This is a trade setup that Brian Knight was giving yesterday. We're going to be looking for this to fall away from the 800. Go on, baby. I'm on the phone, okay? No, go ask Mama. I love you. I'm sorry. You have to give me just a second, guys. Baby, you have to go right now. You have to go. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Shut my door. Sorry, guys. So this has pretty much already come back to the 800. So again, this is not a trade that I'm going to enter. Look how far away it got from the 800 here, though. Back out just for a second and take a peek at this. This is on the 4 hour time frame. See how I would not have entered the trade here. And you see how it got far away from the 800 and then it made its move back towards the 800. That's what I look for. You've got the yellow, the red, the blue, which is 50, then the 200 and the 800 all spread out here. I would have been looking for this to come back. To me, this is still very close. This is not a trade I'm going to be getting into. Okay, this one is moving away from the 800. And this one is consolidating on the 800. It has been for a while. Go back to the top. I'm going to drop down a time frame. Wasn't a whole lot on the 4 hour. Go down to the 1 hour. Take a look. All right. So you see this broke through the 50. It could be headed towards the 200. Not hugely powerful. Let's drop down to the 15. But look here, look how this was set up, guys. On the 15-minute time frame, you see you had the red, the yellow, the light blue, the gray, and the blue. And you see how they were all lined up? It got far away from the 800, and then it fell down to the 800 again, falling down towards the 800. And way out here, look how spread out these are, and it falls down toward the 800. Great trades to get involved with. So this, the 15-minute, this could be promising. Let's see how far out this is. 72 pips. We've been moving away from the 800 since the 24th. So yeah, this is definitely something worth watching. You see it's been bouncing off of the 200. So we're going to watch here to see if it's going to bounce off the 200 again. But at some point, it's going to make its way back down to the 800. So this is definitely the NZD CAD, something I would keep an eye on. Oh, look here. This is wonderful here on the 1 hour NZD CAD. This is great. So on the 15-minute, it's already busted through the 50. It's headed toward the 200. On the 1 hour, we're approaching the 50. So we would see how it likes to bounce off the 50. So we're going to look for it to bust the 50 here and then head towards the 200. And I'll tell you what, that looks good enough. We'll just throw a ray on it here on the 50. That was the wrong button. That's an alarm on this anyways. Let's do So yeah, we're going to do crossing. And then if this, not if, when it crosses the 50, what I'm setting this alarm on technically, because it's right about in line with the 50. When the candles cross the 50, we'll get an alarm. We'll see what it does. We'll see if it runs on down to the 200. If it does, I'd sure like to catch it. We would be in for 65 pips. And if it breaks the 200 and heads to the 8, that would be 122. That's not bad, but we got to see if it's going to bounce off the 50. This is that mega consolidation that's been going on in the USD CHF. I'm waiting for this consolidation to break. I know a lot of people are. No, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. This is crazy. This chart's acting crazy. So I got a couple other lookers I'm looking at. I almost took this trade. And I wish I had. I was in on another chart, and I don't like taking a bunch of trades at the same time, but I almost took this one. And it turned out to be a good one. Look, again, yellow, red, light blue, dark gray, light blue, which is 5, 13, 50, 200, and 800. We were all fanned out here. The red and the yellow crossed. We kind of stopped at the 50, busted through it, didn't even really stop at the 200, straight on down to the 800. Not a bad deal. Still 88 pips left on that on the 4 hour. It's the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, it's already made it back to the 800. Again, on the 1 hour, look how these are spaced out. Are you starting to get the spacing here? So we fanned out away from the 800 and then fell back to the 800. And this is where I take the trade. I try to get in the trade as close to this breakthrough the 50 as I can. I don't take the trade back to the 800 on this side of the 50. I got to get inside the 50, and then I'll take it to the 200, and then I'll reassess it at the 200, watch for the bounce off the 200. If it breaks through the 200, I'll take it on down to the 800. Wonderful, wonderful trade there. Wonderful trade right here. And so I'm just getting good at identifying when we're at a peak. Now look here. It could be one on the 15-minute. That was the 1 hour here. And now look, it looks like it may come back down to the 800 for the short term. Look how this is spread out. We've already got the reds breaking through the 50. Go ahead and check. Let's go ahead and check the Bollinger Bands. We're in serious consolidation here, so we're gonna look to see if we stay in the Bollinger Band through the 50. Goes on twice. That's funny. Check the Ninjacator. See if we got a ninja down here. We do have a ninja down. That's wonderful. And I have the Bollinger Bands turned on the Ninjacator anyways, right? So Ninjacator says it's something to look at. The matrix says it's a down. We're in a down, which we have not seen yet. Okay, so we've been waiting for it to go down. So we're getting close. We got the ninja down here. Let's look at where we are on the RSI. Not sitting great on the RSI. Yes, I'm in a meeting. What's up? Oh, very cool, man. Very cool. Let me finish this meeting and we'll look at it, okay? Thank you. Yeah. I could just don't understand. Work. Here we go. This is a good one here. All right. Look here. The red is up. It's losing strength here, but still above the 40. Let me make sure. I just set on 40. I do. So still above the 40. So still showing strength here. Not looking horrible. This is definitely one to watch. Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of active analyzing here. Let's see. Show this matrix real quick. Let's take a peek and see if it was going to go up any higher. Let's see how likely it is to bounce off of. Dang it. See how likely it is to bounce off. So we're past our resistance. Yeah, resistance here. All right, so we've already gone through that resistance. Let's go up one and see. Oh yeah, here we go. So if we bounce, yeah, we could bounce up yet again. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's definitely bounce up again. But when you get to the 800, when it breaks through, it does like to pull it right back down before it gets away. Like if you look here, see it, like it pulls it back and then pulls it right back down. And when it goes through the 800, it pulls it right back to it. So the likelihood of it rebounding and coming back down and touching the 800 for a minute before it takes off again is probable. So yeah, so I would definitely launch that, or I will definitely launch that. 7 pips, offset. Let me set an alarm right about here. And when that crosses through here, we'll see how it does. Man, even if you were scalping though, that's 27 or 20, 21, 23. All right, moving on. Okay. This stuff. So now look, now see how this one is falling, and it is far away. It's not far away from the 800, but you see what I mean? It's away from the 800 a little bit, but you see the lines are out of order here. If I was going to take this trade, the 800 would have to be down here below the 200, and it's not. I would need this to look, you know, like this, you know. That's too far. I would need it to look like that, you know. Then I would consider taking the trade. But since the 800 is up here like this, that's a no-go for me. Hopefully for you as well. Let's see what it looks like on the 4-hour. Again, look here, guys. I hope I haven't already done this, but see how they're all spread out and it went back to the 800. So you got multiple time frames. Oh, look here. Look how nice this is. See, we're in the right order. We're kind of far away from the 800. We're breaking through the 50 here. So we're going to make a run to the 200. Unless we bounce off the 50, use your other indicators to see if you have strength or if you've lost strength on the 50. Definitely combine this with other indicators. You can see I'm in on this trade. I missed, well, I don't take trades up here down through the 50, but it broke through the 50. So I took the trade here. I'm betting on it to break the 200 and continue on down to the 8. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a 25 pip stop loss, which is a little high, but I've lost like the last 2 trades I lost because my stop loss wasn't big enough and I frustrated myself. We'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it goes good. But that's the trade. That's the trade I took over. I don't know, whatever other one I told y'all I was looking at. I can't remember. Anyways, that's the one I took. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Crush your fingers for me. Ridiculous. All right, so we bounced off the 200 here. That looks good, but we bounced off the 200, and we're going to continue out. Watch your DeLoreans for stops, and the next highest DeLorean line is the right place to put the stop loss. So like on my trade here, actively watching this trade. I'm trading this on. I'm actively watching this trade. That's why I don't have a take profit here. But if I was to set my take profit, I would put it at the 800. It's going to go about here. Yeah, like that. Because if it crosses through the 2, I'm saying it's going to stop at the 8, or at least that's where I kind of lose track of it. This is wonderful. The AUDCHF, that's wonderful. That looks great on the 15-minute. That's definitely one to watch. It's already broken the 50. Well, I already said that. I've already done this one. That looks great. Let's look at the Bollinger Band and see if it has any power. It does. It does. It's in the red here. What are we on? Are we on Heikenhashi? Let's do regular candles here. Okay. So our red and our blue crossed here, which is signaling an entry. We made it through the 50. Not a bad looking trade. Let's look at the RSI. Get this on here. So RSI is saying it's losing power right here. So it may go back up and touch the 50. I have to keep an eye on it. Let's also look at Directional Movement Index, the DMI. Oh, look here. Red is above the green. We're above the 40. Or the orange is above the 40 line. So not bad. This is where we're at on the 30. On the 30, it's the same setup. Not bad. 1 hour. All right, so we lost it on that hour. And so as a whole, it's headed up, but in the short term, right now it's headed down. That makes sense. All right, guys, I'm sorry, I'm just shopping charts here. Again, here, look, this isn't bad. 15 minutes, okay. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions there? Oh yeah, y'all are still here. Do you guys have any questions about anything I've said here? Or any input?
I have some input. It is refreshing getting your perspective. I know we've been looking at these pairs with Brian, and like those AUD pairs, they keep going up and up and up. And it's like,
yes,
you're coming in here and keep it simple, stupid. Look at the DeLorean, and it says on the 4 hour, oh, well, we haven't hit the 800 yet. So that might be why it keeps going up and up and up.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which chart was that? Are you talking about exactly?
The several AUD pairs that just keep climbing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's look at AUDUSD. So yeah, we might get a little drop here. Kind of hard to keep track of. Let's look at pips here. So in the short term, it's looking like 88. Long term, see where 88 lands here. So what it's wanting to do is come back. What it's saying is it's going to come back and touch the 200, but it has to go back to the 8. It has to. So it's probably going to meet the 8. I mean, if we look at the trajectory, it's going to meet the 8, you know, right around here, I guess. So yeah, it just has to do it, you know. So, you know, I trade Brian's strategy for long-term trades. This is a little more of a short-term deal. I usually set these trades at night and check them again in the morning. Just kind of just a little 12-hour trade or something. But this lets me, I mean, literally, I just go through and just look at all these charts. I don't even I just go through and look at everything. because there's one thing they have to do, and that's come back to the 800, all of them. I'm trying to learn the banker strategy because I really enjoy it. But like you said, this one is just simple. This one is just, let's see where it is. Moving on.
Really great for trading the retracements, because with bankers, just like this week, we've had nothing. But if you do this, you can trade to the zone, which I think is really necessary with how slow things move.
Yeah, I think it's good to have, you know, many different styles to trade. You know, the ones that are really solid, and then some that you kind of play with. And Jeff Goodwin is my main mentor, and that's what he does, man. Every time I talk to Jeff, he's like, "Hey, man, check this strategy out," you know, and he's killing it, you know. So literally, when Jeff gets on the charts, he's got like a whole bag of tricks to trade from, you know. And when Jeff's winning trades, man, he's winning off of all different types of strategies. And so yeah, just put this in your bag. Yeah, if banker's slow, just see if somebody's way far away from the 800, and then just use it with other indicators though, because like, look, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something real quick. I'm gonna find one. Okay, like look here. Like this. Still not right. I want to find one really good, one that you could like get in on. You know what I mean? It's got to be right at the apex. Not it. Hold on, I'm going to come across. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. So pair this with a couple other indicators, and you've seen me use the DMI and the RSI, Bollinger bands. Oh, the Ninjacator, the Ninja Matrix. So I try to stack up probability on these. And we're going to use support and resistance too. So, you know, when this is headed up, look and see if there's, you know, a support or well, this would be support resistance. Look and see if there's a stronger resistance, like look here, this is our last high. You know, definitely take that into account, because we know the charts like to go where they've been before. So this could definitely bounce and go up again. You know what I mean? So kind of keep an eye on it. I try not to enter these trades until it gets below the 50, because the deal is the candles want to go to the closest DeLorean EMA. And it may not be on this time frame. It may be on another time frame. So like this one's crossing through the 50. But you see here, this one stopped directly on the 50. It was trying to get to the 50 on the 30-minute chart. Makes sense. Here, it's trying to get to the 50 on this chart. It goes from DeLorean to DeLorean on different charts. So you kind of go back and forth through the charts and say, man, where is this trying to get to? You know, since this crossed through the 50, it's going to try to make a run. It's like when it lets go of one DeLorean, it has to run to the other one and get it as quickly as it can. You know, when it's up here above the 50, it's kind of a no man's land. You kind of, there's no set place. You gotta shop your resistance or your support down here. You know, and kind of guess. But once it enters in between the 50 and the 800, you have pretty set boundaries that it's going to use. So wait for it to get inside the 50, in my opinion. But the main indicator on the DeLorean that things are changing is that the red and the yellow cross. So here you see the yellow is on top of the red, which this would be the 5. Stupid, yeah, 5. So when the 5 crosses through the red, you see the 5 bounce off the red. We're not entering there. Here the 5 crossed through the red. Now things have changed. Now we're headed down. Here the yellow went back up. It didn't cross through the red. Tried again. Didn't cross through the red. It's gonna try again, and we're gonna see if it crosses through the red or not. but our entries and exits are based on when these yellows and reds cross. Look here, we were headed down, and then yellow crossed through red, broke the 50, and we headed back up. Pretty much yellow stayed on top of red, and then we crossed again here, and we're headed back down. So the first thing we look for is the crossing of the yellow and the red. Once they cross and they indicate a change in direction, we head to the next DeLorean line, which is the 50. And I really don't trade. My trading zone is in between the 50 and the 800, and I look for the 200 for a midway point, for a stopping point. That's like, so if I was going to take this trade, my first stop loss is set at the 200, or at least I'm going to be watching it for it to stop at the 200, because it could definitely bounce. So I take my money here, and then when it breaks the 200, I take money again here. So really what you want is the 2 to the 8 for the most part. That's usually, but that is always the biggest spacing.
So just out of curiosity, you had mentioned that with the strategy, you tend to set trades before London Open, I guess, and then go to sleep and kind of usually you're up when you wake up. How does that work for you? Because I've done similar things, but not quite.
I have to be really confident. So the market moves at 2 a.m. Quite a bit here, and I'm just asleep. You know, I'm not setting any trades. So like this one, like if I was going to go to bed now, I would enter the trade because we're below the 500. I would set my take profit here. I would set my stop loss at break of structure. A little too high, maybe here. And then I would enter here. That's what my trade would look like for the night. If I wake up in the morning and I've won, or I'm right in this area, but it's looking strong, you know, like I'm buried in the Bollinger Band and the RSI and everything's looking good, I just take this dude and drop him down to the 8. And then I move this guy into profit and let it continue on down to the 800.
Okay, so how consistent would you say that works out?
Ooh, I think I'm at 70%, so 7 out of 10. I haven't checked my statistics lately. Yeah, I'd say 7 out of 10.
Interesting, because that's almost like a set it, forget it. I used to mess around with Ninja Smart Money, and there could be days, if you were clever, you would wake up with, you know, plus 10% in your account, albeit I was demoing at that point, but there wasn't
Right.
a good enough win to loss ratio to really justify that.
Yeah, this is like the other, this is like a lot of the other strategies. I'm not going to enter it unless it's 3 or 4 to 1 at least. You know, so it's got to be pretty spaced out. The 800 and the 50, I guess I'm saying, have to be pretty spaced out. And then even if I lost 5 of them, if I win 1, I'm still up. You know, I was on a losing streak. Gosh, probably 3 weeks ago, man. I lost like 8 trades in a row and like was about to like throw my computer through a wall, you know. But that's just how it happens. And then I won. You know, I made it up. You know how statistics go. I made it up and everything's fine. So, but I'd say on a whole, yeah, 7 out of 10 is where I'm at. And I'm clumsy with it still. I don't know anybody else that is trading this way, so I have to learn everything through failures. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have anybody to ask what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. You know, so every time I lose one, I'm really analyzing what I did wrong, and I'm constantly tweaking and changing how this is working. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting really confident with it. Yeah, and I don't know what time zone you're in, but it seems like in my time zone, man, they're just hanging right before I go to bed, and then yeah, I set it, and I usually do 2 at night, and or I won't do more than 2, I guess I'm saying, and see how it looks in the morning. Pretty cool to wake up in the profit though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that again because you just make it look too easy. I know it's not, but you know.
It's not bad. No, I think overcomplicating it is an issue. You know, this is what it is. You know, if you back test it, it's pretty consistent, man. I mean, it always comes back to the 8. You know, I mean, you just look at the chart. That's just what it does. You know, I mean, let's just keep going back here. I mean, this took a long time to come back. It almost made it to the 8, not quite, but it came back, and it came to the 8 here. So it stayed on the other side of the 8 a long time. It built up high here, waterfalled back to the 8. Again, here, went back to the 8. Here, went back to the 8. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Here, came back to the 8. There is not one place you're going to go look at the chart where it doesn't come back to the 800 line, period. And you know, the main reason that I've been losing trades is because I've been setting my stop loss too tight. The 3 of those trades I lost, or 3 of my most recent trades that I lost because I set my stop loss like 3 pips too low. You know what I mean? And so I've been setting it a little bit higher, and I've been winning more trades because, like I said, it has to come back to the 800. It has to. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess there's some confidence in it. I guess you know what I'm saying. Like when this is all turned off, and you look at this, and it's like, you know, it's like, dear God, this could go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, who the hell knows how high up this is going to go or how low this is going to go? There's absolutely no way to tell. And when I first started trading, they were like, oh, just come in and throw support and resistance. And still, I was like, well, what the hell is to stop this thing from just skyrocketing and going crazy? You know what I mean? But once Jeff Goodwin showed me this, all of a sudden there was structure. And how do I know that this isn't going to go way, way, way up here? Because the 800's here. You know what I mean? How do I know it's not going to go way, way, way down here? Because the 800's here. It's going to come back to the 800. And the further away it gets, the more likely it is to come back. And depending on the chart, like, see, this one got 144 pips away. Look here, this one got 119 pips away. This one got, so 144, 119, 118, 144, 119, 118, 54. Shit. Red. So when we look over here, we're at 75. So what we were at 144, 119, 118, and what was it, 54? So technically, as far as averages go, this could go up again. It could bounce off this 50 because this likes to go to 118, 119 in the low hundreds, mid hundreds, before it falls back. Does that make sense?
What with quarter theory?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying this one, like, it turned back towards the 800 here at 119 pips. It turned back towards the 800 here at, this one was far. It turned back towards the 800 at 115 pips. It turned back towards the 800 at 60 pips. they're all different. I guess that's what I should say. This one turned back at 73 pips, and every chart is different. So, and I don't have all the charts memorized yet. This one turned back at 85 pips. They're all different. Some of them like to get like 200 pips away from the 800. Some of them like to get like 30 pips away from the 800. So it depends which chart you're on. You know what I'm saying? This one is sitting at 75 pips. Not bad. It's getting pretty close. It might go up one more time, but it's not going to go up 3 more times. You know? So even if you missed it on this one, you're just even more likely on the next one. You know what I mean? Even if you miss it, you just set it again because it's still going to come back to the 800. If you missed it, you didn't miss it by much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it
gonna
has a lot
it's
of
gonna come back.
parallels with bankers because it's like you're saying, it's going to hit the 800. With bankers, it's overwhelmingly likely going to hit the zone and continue the trend. It's
Right.
just a matter of getting the entry right, not getting stopped out too many times. And for whatever reason, it seems like this strategy is a little bit better about getting good entries.
Um. Yeah. I really like it. I would like, man, if you like this strategy, try it out and let's bounce ideas off each other, man. Because like I told you, I don't know anybody else that's doing this. I think Tom does it a little bit, but Tom's schedule is so busy. We don't talk a lot. But yeah, man, try it and let me know what you think about it and help me tweak it, man. I'm really good at constructive criticism. I love learning from other people's experiences, you know. So yeah, give it a shot and let me know. Let me know what you think and let's perfect it, man. Because I feel like there's something here, you know, like there's something that could be turned into an art form, you know, that could be really consistent.
Right. Yeah, and I've used it before. I've gotten a couple decent trades out of it, and I happen to be very against trading against the trend before I had done this. But yeah, feel free to
Right.
hit me up on Discord. I'm definitely
Okay.
going to keep going with it. I'm in Brian's sessions all the time. You'll see me there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You and Brian were talking the other day. Yeah, and you're saying it's similar to banker strategy. I'm gonna take your word for that because I'm learning banker strategy. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've been sitting in with Brian, and he just blows my mind, you know. So I really want to learn learn how he trades. But it is very banker strategy feels very comfortable to me. You know, it definitely has a draw. Um,
Yeah, I mean, they're
and
kind of
Brian,
like
man, he makes great trades.
absolutely. And they're sort of just like mirror opposites because you're trying to get the retracements, bankers is getting the continuations.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only real problem I have is that Brian happens to be way more patient than I am. So he can sit in a
Right.
trade for weeks at a time. And I'm like, I'm all set.
Right. Um, you know, so I've been trading the retracements, but what I want, so I'm going to continue doing that, but I'm missing half of, man, what's the right way to say this? I'm missing the other half, I'm not using the other half of the DeLorean, which is, okay, so I'm only trading under the 50, right? But I really think that I should be trading on top of the 50 as well. Like, I feel like I should be trading on the way up as well. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of pips right here, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
telling you. Like if you overlay a chart that has a fib on it and turn on the DeLorean, I bet you out of the zone is going to be the all the lines scrunched together, and then back to
right,
the zone is going to be how you normally trade.
right, right, right. Um, so I think, and I'm a contractor. I'm about to enter a big job. I'm gonna be really busy for like 3 weeks. But I think when I get back from that job, I'm gonna start focusing on trading up, which I know is what the actual DeLorean system is trading up, not the retracement. Um, and I know they have a bunch of rules for that, which I'm not good at memorizing. So
Yeah, I looked into it. I didn't
um,
really understand it.
yeah, it wasn't my bag either. But I know it is for a lot of people, and that's good. I guess I don't know. there's the analytical mind, and then there's the kind of the interpretive mind, you know, and I don't know. I definitely don't trade off of feel. I don't trade off of emotions, but I like to see just kind of how it's moving, you know, and that's how I feel with the DeLoreans. How is it moving? You know what I mean? Rather than counting each individual candle, I guess is what I'm saying, you know, just how is it moving off of the EMAs, you know. But I think I can catch it on the way up too. I've been staring at it. I've been staring at DeLoreans for months now, and I'm kind of starting to get a feel for them, you know.
Right.
So very cool, man. Yeah, do it. Let me know what you think, and you know, I'll message me on Discord, John, and I don't know if we're buddies on Discord, but when I'm looking at a chart or whatever, if I see one, I'll shoot it to you, and you do the same to me, and we'll see if we can't hammer this out and really make this consistent.
Yeah, sure, we'll do.
Awesome. Miss Sophia, what do you think?
I'm a little confused, really. I just try to find out what the strategy is. When do you enter the trade? And I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't use a lot of indicators when I trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. For example, when you look at this one, Aussie Swiss, okay. When do you enter the trade? When the
Okay. So there's two things we're going to look at with the DeLorean EMAs to enter a trade. Okay.
Okay.
The first thing we're going to look at is, are these lines spread out? Okay.
Yes.
If they're spread out, they've got to be in this order: 800, 200, 50, and then 13 and 5. Okay.
Yes.
So it's got to go from biggest to smallest. Okay. If you ever forget what the order is, you just go right here to DeLorean EMA and click on settings, and it will tell you 800, 200, 50, 13, and 5. And this is the colors: blue, gray, aqua, red, and yellow. Okay. So it's all right here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So if they're all stand out and they're all in order, we come up close. We come way up here like this. And these lines are our entry and exit lines. Okay. So what we do is we come up here above the 50 and we look at the yellow and the red lines. So here we're okay. So we're going to say we're going to take a bullish, a bearish trade, a sell. Okay.
We go
so
down. You think green. You want to go down?
Yeah. Bearish. Yes, we're going down. So if the yellow is above the red, we're not taking the trade. Okay. So what we're looking is for the yellow to cross through the red and be pointed down. And I'm going to show you an example of that. We want sharp DeLorean EMAs. Okay. So look, the yellow is above the red. Here, the yellow bounced off of the red, still not taking the trade. Here, the yellow crosses through the red, and now the yellow is on the bottom. Now we're looking at entry. Okay.
Okay.
And what
you look at the entry when yellow is below the red line. Yes.
For a sell. If it's a buy, the yellow is above the red.
For the sell, yes.
Okay. Yeah, for the sell.
Yeah, for the
sell.
And
what we're looking is for very sharp. Look here. Like
very sharp.
See the. Yeah, I'm gonna show you right here. Okay, look at here. Look here. See the yellow cross through the red, but see how it's very horizontal and flat. We're not going to enter there. Okay. But see the yellow cross through the red and it's very steep. It's very vertical or diagonal. That is strong. So if it crosses through and it's horizontal, no. But if it crosses through and it's diagonal or vertical, then yes. It has to be crossing through at a good angle. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Okay. But that's only two lines. How about 250, 200, and 800? For what do you need this two?
Okay. So here, okay, so when they cross through, that's signaling that we might enter, okay? The 50
you might
EMA
enter, yes, okay.
I might enter, okay? This is the 50 EMA, the aqua, okay? The 50 EMA tells me if we're in an uptrend or if we're in a downtrend. If we're above the 50 EMA, we're in an uptrend. If we're below the 50 EMA, we're in a downtrend.
Oh,
Okay. So I'm not taking the trade until we get below the 50, because if we're on top of the 50, we're in an uptrend. So I can't sell in the uptrend, right? So the yellow and the red crossed here, that's fine, but we're above the 50. So I can't take the trade. So they have to stay crossed and cross below the 50. No, I don't have to come off this chart. Let me just show you over here. Here, they crossed below the 50, right?
Yes.
That signals a trend change, okay? This is a trend change. Short term, I mean, we're on the 15-minute time frame. It is short term, okay? And look, when we go back above the 50, you see we're in an uptrend, right? When we go below the 50, we're in a downtrend. You see what I mean?
No,
and as long as we stay above the, okay? So once we cross through the 50, the 200 and the 800 are our stopping points or our take money points. So when we cross through the 50, it's going to go to the 200. Not always, but a lot of the time. So the first place we're going to take profit is right here at the 200. And it's going to dabble at the 200. It's going to play around at the 200. See here how it played around at the 200? See here, it played around at the 200. This is where we would set take profit at the 200, take profit at the 200. You see how it likes to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first place we set take profit is at the 200. And it's going to play with it's going to play with the 200. Not always, but a lot of the times it's gonna consolidate on the 200 or it's gonna bounce. So we take profit here. If it breaks through the 200, it usually continues down to the 8. Not always, but most likely it's going to make its way back to the 800, which we see, like we were doing that earlier, right? It always comes back to the 800, right?
Yes, okay. But first you look at 4 hours, yes, then you go to 1 hour.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So it's many different trades. So if I enter this one on the 4 hour, I'm going to be in this trade for like 3 days probably. You know, if I enter on the 1 hour, I'm going to be in the trade probably for 12 hours, 10 hours. If I enter on the 15-minute, I'm going to be in the trade for, you know, anywhere between an hour and 4 hours or something, you know. So this one I have to watch a lot more closely. This one I set and I walk away for 2 days or something and see what happens, you know. You make a lot more money on the higher time frames, but you lose a lot more money on the higher time frames, you know. Like on this one here, I mean, if I set this trade, good Lord, how many pips was this? From 50, I mean, you would have made like probably $800 or $600 on that trade. You know what I mean? But my stop loss probably would have been at like 50 pips, maybe 35 pips, which means you're going to lose, you know, more as well.
How do you set up this stop loss? It's like
who is your broker?
by pips or by looking at the chart?
Who's your broker?
Wanda.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're asking me. You're asking me how do I know where to set the stop loss?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, you set it at break of structure. So, okay, let's just stay here. I want to zoom in. I'm struggling here. Here we go. So we're going to set it at break of structure. So if we come through the 50, we're on a downtrend, right? If I go back through the 50, I'm on an uptrend. So if I enter this trade, my stop loss will be at the break of my trend, the break of my structure, which would be the 50 EMA. Okay, so my stop loss will be at the 50. My take profit will be at the 200. Honestly, if I was going to enter this trade, I would probably bring it up to about here. This is what my trade would look like. If you wanted to be really conservative, you could, I mean, if you wanted to be aggressive, you could go up. But look here, now we're at like a 50-50 ratio. That's no good. Nobody, you don't enter a 1-to-2 trade. That's just not what's going to happen. Let's look at another one here. Let's see what we, oh, let's just go to a different time frame, actually. Here we go. So if we were to enter here below the 50, you wouldn't want to set it. You wouldn't want to set it way up here. That would be too big. This one would probably set, yeah, about 25 pips. Usually where I set mine at on the 4 hour. Go to the 50. Do a different chart here. There we go. So if this came down to the 50, I would set my my stop loss right here, because that's our last high point, you know. If it crossed below the 50 and we entered it down here, then I would set it at the 50. So we're going to set it at break a structure. If you've broken the DeLorean line, you're going to set it at the last DeLorean line. If we were down here, you know, if the candles had moved down into this area, I would set my stop loss at the 200.
Stop loss is not, I always can figure out. Yeah, but
yeah,
I think I can try the strategy. Now I understand.
Yeah. What strategy are you using right now?
Just, yeah, different kind. Snipers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bankers.
Sure.
Yeah. Like,
have you done
Brian?
back testing?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm just looking at the chart. Reverse.
Are you in the IM Academy?
Yes, I am. Can you
Okay.
access with not being with IM Academy? I think you need to be. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Do you use the Harmonic Scanner?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna. Do you like the Harmonic Scanner?
Yeah, I do. But recently I haven't not used Harmonic Scanner, but I do use it.
Okay, watch. I'm going to show you something. You're going to like this if you use the Harmonic Scanner. Watch this. Harmonics. I do this too. It's a good way to do it. So let's go to the 1 hour. Boop, here we go. I don't like that. There we go. So we're just going to do this as an example, okay? All right, that's 111 pips. That is GBP USD. GBP USD. Here we go. Oh, look here. Look here. Do you see what I see? Watch this. The Harmonic Scanner is telling you that it's a sell, right? And it's telling you that your take profit is at 137,639. Now look here. Now look what now look here. What is this? It's the exact same thing I just showed you. It's going to fall back to the 800, right? So now the Harmonic Scanner is telling you the same thing I was telling you. And now you've got two confirmations. You see what I'm telling you? 137,639. 137,639. Oops, hold on a second. Well, that was pretty close. So look here. So I'm telling you to look when these DeLoreans are fanned out, right? And look what the Harmonic Scanner is telling you. It's telling you that it's going to fall here, right? So what I'm telling you is to go to the Harmonic Scanner and check and see which trades it's telling you to enter. It's telling you that it could fall back to take profit 3 here, right? I'm telling you that it's going to fall back to the 800, which is the exact same thing the Harmonic Scanner is telling you. So use the Harmonic Scanner to figure out which potential trades are there, and then once you go to that chart, use the DeLorean EMAs. So that way you're not just leaning on the DeLorean EMAs alone. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. It's, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So there you go. So look here. So the Harmonic Scanner and the DeLorean EMAs are in agreement. So this, I'm actually going to mark this. This would be a great trade to take a peek at. That's 78 pips. So here's what we're going to do. So the Harmonic Scanner pointed you to this trade, to this chart. You come to this chart and you see that it's in the right order, 800, 250, right? So now we're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in, and what we're going to do, you see the yellow is still above the red. So we're going to wait till the yellow crosses through the red, and then we're going to look for it to cross through the 50. If this crosses through the 50, you have two very strong indicators.
Indicator, yes.
Yeah, that are saying it's going to drop to the 800. You know, I bet you it's saying this the TP2 is 137,946. 137,946. Hold on a second. Oops. That was close too. That ain't bad. Isn't bad. Excuse me. Look at it. It's right at the 200. You can't make this up, right? Come on. So the take profit 3 is the 800. The take profit 2 is the 200. So I guess the scanner is just the DeLorean EMAs. 13813. 13813. Let's see. 13813. 13813. I want one more number here. 13813. 8. Okay. There we go. Now that's not bad. The Harmonic Scanner and the DeLoreans are telling you the same thing. This is a trade you could definitely get comfortable with. How do you feel about that?
Understand?
Good. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I
Awesome.
understand now. It was pretty
Okay.
good explanation. This, like,
Awesome,
you can
awesome,
see it's
awesome.
really almost the same like Harmonic Scanner, but only use your DeLorean.
So yeah, do this. Harmonic Scanner, DeLorean. Look for the yellow to cross under the red. Look for it to
And
break
wait
the
for
50
the,
for the trend change.
Aqua, yes.
That's it.
Yeah,
You got it.
Yes,
You got it.
great.
All
I'm
right.
going to try tomorrow.
Good deal. Good deal.
Now, first,
okay.
maybe tonight I work on the chart, and tomorrow we'll try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We sent you a
absolutely. You're gonna
message
kill it.
really well.
Yes, definitely find me on Messenger and
Yeah, Messenger
and,
or
yeah,
on
send me a
Discord.
request, send me a message, and yeah, definitely communicate with me about it. The more we work together, the more we'll make.
Oh, maybe I just sent something on a Ninja Forex on the Facebook. Yeah, I will try it tomorrow. I don't know if I have time tomorrow, but definitely
Good
find.
deal. And what I would do is set this trade and go to bed.
Okay.
And okay.
So you would,
and so
you just place a sell stop at the 50?
if I entered this, I would let it go ahead and go to the 200. If I entered this trade here, I would be confident that
Oh,
it
my
would
bad. I
go to
screwed
the
up. Yeah,
go to the 200. Only
Yeah.
only because the Harmonic Scanner is in agreement with me. If I was doing this by myself, I would wait for it to cross to the 50. But it's getting late. The Harmonic Scanner said I got a pretty good feeling about it, so I would run with it to the 200. I mean, it's on the 15-minute time frame. Your stop loss is going to be, I mean, it's not going to be a huge trade. You know what I mean? Well, 34 pips. I mean, we're going for 10 pips a day, so It's not bad.
It's like a 2 to 1,
Yeah.
2.5 maybe to 1.
Let's see. Let's run the numbers here. Let's say we wouldn't get into it to here, right? Grab that. Break a structure up right there. So that would be what is that? 6 to 1. That's not bad, y'all.
All right, so you
and if we went
basically
to
put
the-
your entry at break of structure then to go down.
Yeah.
All right.
And if not, it's the 200's 3.5 to 1. It's not a bad trade all the way around, guys. Not a bad trade at all. Because what is a scanner at? 80% probability, and I was saying I'm 7 out of 10. So yeah. In fact, I think I will probably just go ahead and take that trade. See what happens. We'll keep it marked and maybe visit it next week and see what it does. See how it did. And Zofia, if you like this strategy, there are a couple other indicators I use just to kind of back this strategy up, which is the Bollinger Bands, the RSI, the DMI. I feel like I'm missing one.
Okay.
Anyways, if you wanted to go deeper into this strategy and say, I like it, but I need a little more confirmation, next week we can do these other confirmations and, you know, like get this down. And then once you have this down, we can do a couple more and kind of make it more solid.
Sure, we can try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Okay, guys.
Thank
Do
you.
you guys have any other questions or comments?
No, it was pretty good. Thank
Nope.
you.
Thanks, Dalton.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
All right, guys,
it
I
was really,
appreciate you
very
being
good.
here.
Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome.
Take it
I'm
easy.
going to end it, and we will see y'all next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.